My friends, how are you? It is absolutely fantastic to see you for yet another video. I hope you're all doing well out there today, because I gotta tell you, my friends, I'm kind of having a good time today. As we go through this video, you're going to find out that I am highly amused by what is going on in the United States right now. And what I'm going to do today is going to go back, way back in the Wayback Machine on this channel, and talk about some very bold predictions I made when Donald Trump started raising hell with rural America back at the beginning of his term. And basically what I'm trying to tell you, my friends, before we get into it, is that Josh Stradamus is back again today to explain, excuse me, that I may have been onto something this entire time, when way back in the day, it seems like 10, 20 years ago now, which hasn't even been 2 years ago, I had come out and talked about how Donald Trump's support in rural America was completely collapsing right in front of us. And I did that for good reason. I did that because I was observing what was going on and realizing that there was a change in the rednecks in America and something was going to happen. And my friends, I got to tell you, the gaslighting back then, when I talked about Donald Trump's support collapsing in rural America, was just absolutely off the fucking charts. But I am here to take yet another victory lap and say that I was right the entire time, because hell, my friends, nobody likes, I mean, what am I trying to say? People like to do that, or, you know, when we called something, we saw it. But I'll tell you, the gaslighting was absolutely insane, because what I had noticed was around the time of the Liberation Day tariffs, and the farmers all over America realizing that they no longer had a global market to sell their product to, and all the blue-collar working-class Americans in rural America realizing that they were going to lose their jobs, and that the small businesses they either worked for or owned were going to close. There was a mass exodus from the MAGA movement right in front of us that happened, right? And it was a weird time for me, because I was told by basically everybody on every part of the political spectrum that I did not know what the fuck I was talking about. And I was just completely confused, right? But I have told you guys from the beginning of this channel that I am half redneck and half Italian, right? And I grew up around a certain brand of redneck people where I observed. My entire childhood was just spent observing how goddamn weird they were, but just kind of taking in what was going on. And what I'm trying to tell you with that is, if there's anything I know in this world, anything that I understand on this planet at all, is that I know my people, right? I know how they react to things and what's going through their minds. And a lot of times, not a whole lot's going through their minds. You have to understand that, right? I mean, I miss the days when the big argument between the rednecks and the hillbillies and the shit kickers and the hicks was what kind of pickup truck was better. You had basically a civil war in this country between those groups of people about if the Ford and Chevy pickup truck was better. And boy, they were heated fucking debates, my friends. They would get all over each other's asses about if Ford and Chevy was better. And it was like friendship ending arguments sometimes. It was very, very intense, right? And then these assholes got involved in our politics, and I kind of wish they'd go back to arguing about Fords and Chevys instead of bothering the rest of us with their complete bullshit. Because the fact of the matter is, they didn't know dick about Fords or Chevys. They were just loyal to a brand, and that's basically the same way they approach politics. They don't know what the fuck's actually going on. They just found a brand that they liked, and they are completely loyal to it. And that's what's happening. But in case you guys don't know, I'll give you a little bit of background. Is I come from the type of rednecks that used to cross state lines to get the good fireworks, you know, that bullshit, right? And they weren't making it through 4th of July without losing at least one fucking finger. I come from the kind of rednecks that used to go to the fucking liquor store to cash their paychecks, my friends. So what I'm trying to tell you is, I know my people, and I understand that the collapse of Donald Trump was coming, and I also understand that it is amplified right now in rural America with the bullshit we're going to talk about today, how Donald Trump has completely fucked off a whole other segment of rural America that thought up until a few days ago they were living very high on the hog, and Donald Trump would not let that stand, and he has came in and crushed all of their fucking dreams. And I'll get to that. I promise I'll get to the point. I promise I will, because this is really, really interesting shit. But I wanted to talk a little bit before I get into all of that about the just the extreme fucking gaslighting that I had to deal with when I brought all of this up. See, when the Liberation Day tariffs happened and everybody started losing their asses on all of Donald Trump's bullshit, immediately the flags, the banners, the bumper stickers, the hats, the t-shirts, everything related to Donald Trump started disappearing from rural America. Now, that is not to say that all of them have disappeared, because what I will get in the comments is somebody saying, bullshit, my neighbor still has their Trump flag up. I don't know your neighbor. I don't know where they live. What I'm saying is there was a noticeable, excuse me, a noticeable decrease in the country when all of this started to happen. So I started calling the shit out, right? I started mentioning it. And I had a whole lot of Trump supporters showing up and telling me that I was completely full of shit. They said, the election's over, dumbass. Why would we still have our fucking flags up? And first of all, being called a dumbass by MAGA, that's rough, man. That's like a kick in the balls. These are the dumbest motherfuckers that our country has to offer, and they think I'm dumb. That's fucking shocking. But they wanted to convince me that after spending a decade of our lives making Donald Trump their entire personality, running around talking about owning the libs and discussing all of our genitals openly, and all these weird things that they did, they wanted me to believe that they no longer fucking, what am I trying to say? That they no longer had to fly their flags and all this bullshit. What are you talking about? That's what you did for the last fucking decade. What actually happened is his support started fucking collapsing. But MAGA is the master of gaslighting now, aren't they, my friends? I had one yesterday. I had a Trump humper show up in my comment section, and I want to tell you this story because they're just so fucking weird. His argument to me on yesterday's video about Canada's response to Donald Trump's trade war was that if Donald Trump is as fascist as I say he is, then my YouTube channel would not exist, right? And that's it. That's his whole argument. And I beg to differ, my friends. I don't think Donald Trump is a fascist because my YouTube, or isn't a fascist because my YouTube channel is still here. I believe that Donald Trump is a fascist because he has done things like try to take away Americans' rights to vote. He has tried to do anything in his power to interfere with the amount of people that vote in America. I think that Donald Trump is a fascist because he has instructed his ICE Gestapo to murder American citizens in the streets, even ones that were legally carrying guns on them, went through the legal process, the Second Amendment, all those things, and had them gunned down in the streets and said it was because they were carrying a gun. I think that Donald Trump is a fascist because he no longer believes in due process, and if you're too brown in this country, you are guilty until proven innocent. I think Donald Trump is a fascist because he has actually had concentration camps erected in the United States. I think Donald Trump is a fascist for a lot of reasons, but in the MAGA brain, Donald Trump is not officially a fascist until he personally comes to my YouTube channel and removes it from the internet. And that's when, according to MAGA, fascism begins in America. It all hinges on my YouTube channel. Can you fucking believe it? And I gotta say, my friends, that doesn't make a whole lot of fucking sense to me, but according to MAGA, it's just business as usual until my channel disappears at the hand of Donald Trump specifically. I don't fucking get it. I'm not sure I understand how their fucking brains work, my friends. But anyways, I'm trying to get to the fucking point because Donald Trump has done it again, my friends. He has caused more of his base to completely turn against him and absolutely implode right in front of us. And what a special gift, just in time for the fucking midterms. Are you not excited? Because I'm excited. Real quick, before I get into the point, I want to do what I always do and take just a few seconds of your time to thank you guys for everything that you do to help support this channel, because it really truly does. As a half redneck from a single wide trailer in the middle of nowhere, Colorado, it really does mean a lot to me that you guys give as much support to this channel as you do. From watching the videos, subscribing to the channel, liking the videos, leaving a comment and all that stuff, sharing the videos out to your social media. Sometimes I feel like I should write scripts, but that doesn't sound as fun, does it? It really doesn't. I appreciate everything you guys do with that to help break these videos through in the YouTube algorithm. Thank you so much. To everybody that does the super chats, the super thanks, and the channel memberships, I appreciate you for that support also. And the best way to support the channel, if you're able to and you feel like doing so, is through the Buy Me a Coffee link that you can find in the pinned comment and description of every video. They only take a 5% cut if you guys donate that way. And I wanted to just say on the Buy Me a Coffee, their app is a little bit wonky. It's kind of screwy. And if I start going through trying to respond to comments on there, the whole app starts crashing on me and it's a fucking mess. So I do read every one of the comments you guys leave me on Buy Me a Coffee. It just turns into a real hassle trying to respond because the app gets confused about what I'm doing. It's fucking bizarre. But I guess that's what you get when, if they were taking like 50% of the money, I would expect better. But since they're only taking 5%, I don't really mind it that fucking much. And you know, I just think it's better to say thank you for everything you guys do in every video, because it's better than me taking on advertisers and shit like that. And yes, I do have an inbox full of different companies asking me to read ads for them, and I don't fucking want to do that. I just want to do the grassroots. Thank you guys for your support. So anyways, to get back to the fucking point, we have got another collapse of Donald Trump's rural support happening right in front of us, and I could not be more fucking excited about what is going on. See, Donald Trump has already bankrupted the farmers. The farmer situation in this upcoming harvest season, that's whenever the fuck all that starts. I'm not a farmer, I'm just a trucker, right? Whenever all that starts, this year is going to be a fucking bloodbath, an absolute nightmare, and the farmers know it. If you guys thought that like last year was bad for the farmers, this year they're done. It's over with. I don't even know what they're going to do, if I'm being honest with you. And all the small business owners and everything out there, all the people that work for small businesses in rural America, obviously we've seen that collapse already happen, right? And Donald Trump was not content with that, and he wanted more destruction for the rural Americans that traditionally come out and they vote for him. And that's such a big deal, right? And what's going on is, as I covered a couple days ago, is Donald Trump has released or removed the tariffs for something like 300 billion pounds. I may be a little off on that number, of ground beef to come into the United States. And he said he's doing that to lower the beef prices in America by removal of the tariffs. And that leads me to one question, my friends, that we need to ponder and figure out. Am I fucking dumb? Or is the president of the United States fucking dumb? Because back when Donald Trump was campaigning about all these fucking tariffs, we were shouting from the fucking rooftops about how tariffs increase prices, right? And then not only did we have to listen to Donald Trump talk about how other countries pay the fucking tariffs, I don't know what he's talking about. We also had to listen to the MAGA dumb fucks of our country talk about how it screwed over all the other countries because they were going to go bankrupt paying us all this tariff money. And we said, no, stupid, your price goes up, you pay fucking more, right? And they denied that that was real. They said that was not the reality of what was going on. Here we are almost 2 years later, and Donald Trump goes, I have a brilliant idea to lower prices in America, and it's to get rid of tariffs. Wait, what? Like, what are we fucking talking about? None of this makes sense to me, and I'm quite sick to death of the entire fucking thing. It gives me a headache, my friends, when fucking, god damn it. It just drives me crazy. These motherfuckers just drive me crazy, right? Well, as you guys know, that has greatly pissed off the cattle ranchers of America now, which has turned into a very, very interesting situation. Now, I did cover it when it happened a couple days ago when the announcement first came out, but the reason I'm talking about it today is because it's a few days later and the reactions are starting to come out, and that's what really, really, excuse me, really fucking matters. I gotta catch my breath. I gotta stop and remember to fucking breathe every once in a while in these videos. I get so worked up, and then I turn into a mess right in front of you guys. I'm sorry. I've been really focusing on that too. Okay, I think we're better. I think we're okay. Anyways, so what it is such an interesting thing, because what they're saying is Donald Trump's plan to lower the beef prices in the United States is to import tariff-free ground beef into the United States, thereby increasing the herd size. Yeah, I'm sure you all are struggling to make that leap too. So the problem with the high cost of beef in the United States right now is that the herd sizes are apparently very small. Now, keep in mind, I'm not a farmer, I'm not a cattle rancher, I'm just a humble trucker, so there is all the potential in the world for me to fuck up what I'm saying, but I'm doing my best here, right? So the herd sizes are very small because of that. Donald Trump comes out and says, if I remove these tariffs, import the mystery meat, because that's what it is, they won't tell us where it's coming from, then that's going to help the ranchers in the United States States to increase their herd size. This is the fucking problem here in the United States, is one thing has nothing to do with the fucking other. If you want to increase the herd size, you don't import more dead cows. That doesn't make sense at all, right? If, in my opinion, you wanted to increase the herd size, you would do something like go back 30, 40 years in time, however long the timeline was, when scientists started talking about climate change being a real possibility that was going to affect the lives of humans as we know it and change the whole way we do things, leading to drought conditions, weather pattern changes, and a whole new adjustment to our lifestyle. And then the scientists said, look, this is a natural occurrence with the planet, but the human activity has caused it to accelerate at a very rapid pace, and we need to take this fucking seriously. And a bunch of Republicans went, we hate science, bro. Like, we don't give a fuck about science. We hate that shit. As a matter of fact, not only do we hate science, we will spit in the fucking face of science. And then they started talking stupid shit about how climate change wasn't real. It was a Democrat hoax. A guy showed up on the floor of the fucking Congress with a snowball one time and said, I have a snowball, therefore climate change doesn't exist. Then all the hillbillies of America started doing dumb shit, like rolling coal in their tiny pee-pee pickup trucks that they have, spraying black smoke all over the place, spraying Aquanet at the fucking ozone layer, going, fuck climate change, it ain't real, and there's just spraying the shit. It's fucking insane. And then here we are all these years later, and they're like, there's fucking droughts, bro. What do we do? Ah, shit. we should have listened. We should have listened to the fucking scientists. That would have been insane. That's one way that you could help with the small herd size, is go back years ago and pull your heads out of your fucking asses and listen to the scientists, right? But that ship's already sailed. That's already fucked up. We already screwed that whole thing up. So now what do we do? Oh God. How about this? Instead of, we could help increase the herd size by preventing Elon Musk, the world's first trillionaire, that's no longer a trillionaire, by the way. Fuck Elon Musk. Elon Musk, who decided that everything in the government was waste, fraud, and abuse because the money wasn't going directly to him. And Elon Musk doesn't understand why, if the money isn't going to him directly, how it could even be useful, came into our country and started getting rid of all of these programs, and one of them prevented the spread of the screwworm in the United States, right? And now the herds are being devastated because they're catching these fucking screwworms, and maybe we could have not done that. Maybe that would have been a thing we could have done, right? That's one way we could have kept the herd size up, by not infesting them with fucking screwworms. That's a possibility, at least. It's a better option than I brought in ground beef to increase the herd size. Is it just me? Does nobody see how these two things don't work together, that they don't make fucking sense? Or my friends, you're gonna love this one, because some people love and hate this one, right? They just they don't know what to think of what I'm about to tell you. We've got a massive data center takeover of rural America going on right now. Did you see that spineless dork, Greg Abbott? And yes, that was kind of a wheelchair joke too, because fuck Greg Abbott. Lately, if he's not going to stand up for himself, I'm not going to stand up for him. Anyways, I'm not done with you, Greg Abbott. I'm still going to fuck with you, you little crippled fuck. Anyways, to get back to the fucking point. There's a massive data center takeover in the United States right now of rural America, right? And there's a lot of different things going on with that is causing disruptions through all of America. But one of the things that has been pointed out as a study that's going on right now is it is screwing with the way that cows understand how things are working around them, because it creates all this noise pollution that fucks with the cow's senses, right? But it's got all the noise pollution, and there's all these lights around the data center at all times of day, and it's fucking up the day-night cycle of the cows. I've looked this shit up. A lot of people think I'm crazy for this one, but I have looked this shit up, and there is at least some sort of substantial evidence that it's true. But because the cows are confused about what is going on, the cows are no longer fucking. Can you believe it? It's a thing where the cows don't know what time of day they're supposed to fuck at this point, and that, if the cows would fuck, that might help with herd size, right? That's how you get pregnant, in case anybody doesn't know. If anybody doesn't know, come have a seat on the chair here. I'll give you a talk about the birds and the bees. We'll get this straightened out, right? But we'll figure it all out. But it's goddamn, just let the cows fuck is what I'm trying to tell you. Because my friends, if I was a bull and somebody was cock blocking me, I'm liable to shove a horn up their ass, and that's not a threat. That's a what's the word I'm looking for? It's not a threat. It's not real. There's a word that I'm looking for. I'm not a bull is what I'm trying to tell you. So I'm not actually making a threat to people. And let me go ahead and clarify that a little bit. That not a bull statement. If you're into the lifestyle, I damn sure can be. Call me, but that's not what I'm fucking talking about. It's a hypothetical is the word I'm looking for. So I didn't actually threaten anyone because I'm not a bull is what I'm trying to tell you. But the point of all this that I'm trying to tell you, my friends, I'll eventually get to the fucking point, is everything Donald Trump is saying has nothing to do with reality whatsoever. He is now conceding that getting rid of tariffs does lower the beef prices, right? That's what he's telling us, or lower prices in general. What he is saying about how it grows the herd size, you lost me on that one. I don't really fucking get it. But the point I'm trying to get to is now the cattle ranchers are fucking furious about the entire thing. And look, fuck them. They deserve to be, I mean, they deserve to be mad, but they deserve to get fucked also. I don't know how else to say it. If you are doing well in Donald Trump's America, but you're not a billionaire, then what you need to understand is it just hasn't been your turn yet. He hasn't come knocking at your door just yet, but he will be there. And now the cattle ranchers that were living high on the hog, talking about how much money they were making, are all up in arms about how they can't afford it anymore because everything is completely fucked. The beef prices are going to naturally drop. Their profit margins are slashed like fucking crazy because of all the tariffs, feed, fertilizer, all these fucking things that are influenced by the farm. But the price of diesel is through the fucking roof at this point, and I'll be damned if everything on a cattle ranch don't run by fucking diesel. I mean, what are we talking about here? So their profit margins are getting just absolutely devastated. But here's the glorious part of the entire thing, my friends, why I wanted to do this video. This is one of the last remaining sectors in rural America that may still have Donald Trump support. And I get told a lot that, you know, it doesn't matter because these dumb hicks will still come out and vote for a Republican. And that may be true, but what I'm actually kind of picturing is low participation numbers in rural America in these upcoming midterms and even the next presidential election, which means to all my blue dots out there, every one of you out there that's just a blue dot in the middle of fucking nowhere, you just got exponentially more powerful. Your vote now carries more weight in that area. Because, yes, the Republicans of rural America, unfortunately, have been brainwashed by Fox News for a lot of fucking years. A lot of fucking years. And they would rather die than ever vote for a Democrat. But I anticipate that there will actually be a lot that just sit out this upcoming election. Their numbers won't look very good. That's just sort of what I'm predicting. I could be wrong about that. Everybody needs to get out there and vote. Everybody that's not... MAGA, just stay home and argue about Ford and Chevy, for fuck's sake, get out of our politics. But everybody that's against this shit has to get out there and vote because they're going to try to cheat their asses off is what's going to happen, right? But what I'm thinking is in these upcoming midterms, there are actually going to be some surprise seats flipping that we did not see coming. And that's going to be super fucking interesting because rural Americans are getting completely fucked by Donald Trump right now. There is a race for senator that's really interesting in Arkansas. And forgive me, I forgot the young woman's name that's running. She's like a 6th generation farmer, and her farm had to be closed down and I think sold because of all this bullshit that Donald Trump's done. She's a Democrat running against Tom Cotton, all right? And Tom Cotton is a yes man for Donald Trump. Well, according to some polls, not all polls, some polls, and we haven't won, polling isn't winning an election, right? But according to some polls, this is a very, very fucking competitive race. And the reason I wanted to mention that is because Tom Cotton knows that. And Tom Cotton actually recently came out. That's the whitest goddamn name I've ever heard in my fucking life, by the way. Tom Cotton, this fucking hillbilly fuck. Anyways, he has now come out and spoke out against Donald Trump's plan to remove the tariffs on the beef, because if Tom Cotton goes along with this in Arkansas after they've already fucked the farmers, if he doesn't push back, he knows that election's as good as over, right? And there are so many Republicans coming out now against Donald Trump's plan to lower the prices or get rid of the tariffs on the fucking beef. And this is a big fucking deal because they know this is a losing proposition for them. It's causing rifts in MAGA. It's causing rifts in the voters for the Republicans. And it's what needed to happen. So if you're a cattle rancher looking to me for any kind of fucking sympathy, no, I said from the beginning of this channel that America unfortunately needs to go through some very hard times right now. We need to learn our lesson. And I didn't vote for Trump, and a lot of people didn't vote for Trump, but the country as a whole needs to learn its lesson that owning the libs isn't government policy. You know, bowing down to a billionaire con artist that's spent his whole life robbing the working class is not good for the future of the working class in America, and all of these things, and we just have to take our fucking hits. And for that, I say what we've always been saying the entire fucking time is, go ahead, Donald, take those fucking tariffs down. We didn't want them anyways. We understand the targeted tariffs, but the blanket tariffs don't make any fucking sense. And it's quite hilarious to me, as I try to wrap this video up, that what is actually causing the downfall of the support of the rural Americans right now, the cattle ranchers, is the removal of the tariffs, basically doing what we've been saying the entire fucking time. And if these MAGA fucks would get their heads out of their asses and start acting like adults and normal people, they would find that a lot of the policies that we lean towards are much smarter and are much better for the American people. And Donald Trump's blanket tariffs were bullshit, all right? That's what I'm trying to tell you. But anyways, it's Donald Trump no longer manipulating their market, basically, is what's causing them to face the very real consequence of bankruptcy. Way she goes, bub. I don't know what to tell you. Anyways, I should get back to work. Love you guys. Bye now.